Good morning, everybody. Get myself situated here. Have a cup of coffee with me. Oh boy. Folgers at 4 in the morning. So good. I want to tell you about a gun this morning. Have a little gun talk. So, when I grew up in the South, my father took us hunting a lot, and there's quite a few of us kids, and so Dad never, that I ever remembered, owned a rifle, other than maybe a 22 or 22 Magnum. I think that when I was growing up, he had a 22 Magnum and a 410. And he hunted with them a little bit, but he'd always borrow a rifle from somebody. And I always thought Dad needed to have a decent rifle. So when I was about 20 years old, I bought a rifle that I thought was a good fit for my dad. And because I had a rifle, I bought a rifle. And he wasn't that, he thought, he was just cheap, I guess, when it came to buying guns. He encouraged us to buy good guns, you know, when we bought guns. He's pretty strict about it, you know, just one rifle, one shotgun. That's all you need. And I appreciate that, but so I bought this little Savage Model 170. They made these back in the 70s. Little pump. Slide action. 30-30. They made this gun in 2 calibers, I think. I think they made it also in the 35 Remington. But it didn't look like this. So this used to have, when I bought it, it had a Monte Carlo stock, which means the stock came up and then it kind of a big hump here. Then it dropped off right there. Kind of big, ugly boat paddle looking stock. And this fore end, instead of this little corn cob, it came all the way back to here. It was kind of a bigger fore end. That's kind of how they did it back then, the 70s. And I hunted with the gun for probably 1 season before I let Dad wanted to know all about it. And I had customized the wood. I made this little corn cob fore end, and I put those little stripes in there, and took that Monte Carlo stock off. Made a pretty cool rifle out of it. I shot it. I knew it was a nice little rifle, good little rifle, and I thought that's a good rifle for Dad. Because in North Carolina, where I grew up, we hunted in tree stands, and a 30-30 is a fantastic choice. So my dad had this rifle, and he hunted with it for 40 some years. I'm 63 now, so must have been about 42 years anyway, because last year when I was back east to visit my dad, he's 91, and he said, Norm, he said, I'd really like you to take that rifle home with you. He said, I'm afraid if I die and something happens to me, somebody else will get their hands on it. And he said, you gave it to me, so I want to make sure you have it. Which, it didn't matter to me, really. I love my brothers and sisters, and it wouldn't bother me if one of them had it. Not at all. I had plenty of guns, so we'll see what happens. For now, to make Dad happy, I brought it home. Dad had taken the scope on and off a couple times, I think. He got to where he had a hard time seeing through a scope. He has to wear his glasses and stuff, and he always shot iron sights really well. So Dad was shooting it with iron sights, but his shoulders have gotten bad. He'd gotten to where he didn't hunt, and he just sat around, you know. Every time I'd see it, I'd take it out and clean it or something to try to make sure it stayed in good shape. Dad sort of lost interest in hunting, so. Anyways, I have it here. Put the scope back on. Last year I shot it a couple times. When I got back from North Carolina, I shot it a few times, made sure it was zeroed in. But my goal this year was to shoot a deer with Dad's rifle and send him the picture while he was still alive. And the other day I went out and drove around a little bit, looked at a couple 3 bucks, small little meat bucks, and wasn't really seeing anything that felt right. And come around this corner and there's a decent buck, not big, but 4-point, looking at me. Back east they call it 8-point. Standing about 80 yards away, and he was standing straight. There was only one shot, and that was right there on this white spot because his body was straight away from me. And I was afraid to wait for him to turn until he could get a side shot because I didn't know if he'd stay put that long. So I just put my crosshairs right there, right on the bottom of that white spot, and shot. And he went down so hard. He never kicked. He never thrashed, never did any of that stuff. He just went straight down. I hit him right where I wanted to, and that's what I always liked about this little rifle. It always seemed like when I had it, that one year I hunted with it, it's one of those little guns that would shoot where you looked, you know, just sort of a good fit. And Dad shot a lot of deer with it, but this is my dad's rifle. Anyway, I'll post a picture of the buck I shot with it the other day. Made me feel pretty good. It was a good meat buck too. He wasn't a big old stinky old buck. He was probably a 3-year-old. Just starting into his prime, so real nice shape. Bucks are awful fat this year. I've skinned up 2 bucks this year. One for a kid that helped me this summer. His buck had that much fat on his back, and so did mine. Just for the tough year we had, for no moisture or whatever, the deer really did good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my story and seeing my rifle, my dad's rifle. Oh, and I got to tell you a couple more things. So, this is my Lucky Hunting shirt now. So all my life I've had one shirt that was sort of going to be my Lucky Hunting shirt, right? It's just sort of a joke, but then it seemed like I'd end up shooting something with that shirt, so then I'd get superstitious about it. So when I go hunting, that's the shirt I wear. So my son gave me this shirt for my 63rd birthday, which was just the other day, and it's a Sitka. It's a nice shirt. It's nice fall colors. It's just the kind of shirt I like. Anyways, so now my Sitka shirt is my Lucky Hunting shirt. And another thing about that is I forgot to take my hunting knife along. Of course, I needed to field dress that buck. And all I had was a pocket knife one of my other sons had given me. I'm gonna jump up and grab it, show it to you real quick. So I always liked case knives, and especially the canoe shape. I've got 3 or 4 of them. This is one my youngest son gave me. So this is the knife I used. Got 2 blades. This is a knife I use to get at my deer. And if you notice something, the reason they call it a canoe is because the body is shaped like a canoe. I have a red one that my other son, second youngest son, gave me. And then I have a different blue one that my 3rd son gave me. And then my regular hunting knife is a buck, and I don't have it here right now. My oldest son gave me that. So I have 4 boys, and I have a knife that each one of my boys gave me. So they're pretty precious to me, as you can imagine. One of these days, I'll do a video on the knives I have. I don't have a big collection. I have about 5. I have another knife that's a case that a kid that worked for me a few years back gave me, and that one means a lot to me too. It's green. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed seeing my dad's rifle and hearing my deer story. I'll make sure we post a picture of the buck and with the rifle. God bless. Have a great day.